Apparently, I've been up to nothing, like nothing.
The show has some degree of drama and intensity, and for most of the season,
Pot of beans.
why wouldn't they tell us all forms of funny stories like snakes swallowed money and rats became an army of giants and invaded Asorok?
Anyway, enough said. I want to hear your own experience.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Pot of Beans podcast. My name is Afro Wendy, and I'm excited to have you here today.
Hi guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Pot of Beans podcast. My name is Afro Wendy and I'm recording this in the dead of the night. This is 12:07 and that is why I'm not, shouting. I don't want to disturb the neighbors. Yeah, we're kind of quiet. Okay, so I called in my guest. Victor is here. Victor is Victor, I think I'll just leave you to introduce yourself. Victor will be my guest today and we'll be talking about relationship anxiety. So I'll leave Victor to introduce himself. Victor?
All right. Thank you, Afro Wendy. My name is Ojugo Victor. I'm a student, an engineering student. And I reside in Lagos. I'm not really an expert in relationship anxiety, although I have experience which I'd like to share, and that is why I'm here.
Yes, that is correct. Victor is here to share with us his experience with relationship anxiety. Relationship anxiety is not something that is widely known, so get your notepads. We are in for some new knowledge. Okay, so relationship anxiety. In fact, no, let's not start like that. Victor, how are you doing?
I'm very fine. I'm okay. Very active.
Well, you're very active. Obviously, you're like a nocturnal person. Yeah. So I was even surprised when you suggested 1 a.m. I was like, 1 a.m. Who stays awake by 1 a.m.? But okay.
I was looking for a time that's going to be distraction free, and also the stillness of the night would really help the podcast to flow.
Yeah, well, the stillness of the night will help. Yeah, it's like it gives it a calm tone. Yeah, so it helps. It does help. Okay, so from my research, the first time you talked to me about relationship anxiety was the first time I was hearing it. I've not heard anything about relationship anxiety before. So I went and researched. I just read about it and, just to know more about what it is about. So according to healthline.com, relationship anxiety refers to those feelings of worry, insecurity, and doubt that can pop up in a relationship, even if everything is going relatively well. So that is the definition they gave for relationship anxiety. Okay,
right.
So what is your own definition? Just so we can start off.
I would explain it experientially. So in the relationship I was in, I felt that there was a problem when evidently the other party was very comfortable. I could bring up an issue when there is really no issue.
Okay.
I had to sit down to analyze. Everything was pretty all right, but this certain worry at the back of my mind, something else kept telling me something is not right. And I'd like to believe it was my instincts, but definitely, why would my instincts want to sabotage something that's going on properly? So after several research and consultation, I figured out that I was going through relationship anxiety. I was just worrying and anxious about nothing at all. Like there was no issue. It was just anxiety.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, just you sabotage the relationship. There's no issue, but in your head you make up issues that turn out something else. Wow. Okay. According to Healthline too, they said that this feeling can lead to emotional distress, lack of motivation, fatigue, and I guess they said there are also physical concerns such as stomach upset and so on. Have you experienced any of that, or did you experience any of that?
Yeah, the symptoms even went beyond that to restlessness, sleepless nights, and all those things. Yeah, so all those symptoms were happening like in reality.
So you said you were experiencing all of these symptoms, and you went and researched and discovered you had relationship anxiety.
Yeah.
So if it's not sounding too personal, like can you just walk me through what happened and what made you go and check? Like, apart from you second guessing yourself, like what caused it? What caused you to have all those doubts and insecurities to make you even want to go and say, oh, okay, I think there's something wrong here and I have to research about it?
All right. So I think the relationship should be about a year and 6 months now. So earlier, I was going on my internship and I was leaving her in school, my industrial training rather. I was leaving her in school for 6 months. Throughout the whole 6 months of not being with her, we were very comfortable and everything was going smoothly. One of the smoothest distant relationship I've ever experienced. Now, coming to a new year, and the semester was cut short by the coronavirus, so we had to go home. So towards the beginning of that period, there was another distance between us. But this time, the distance came with worry and constant insecurity. Things are not right, things are not properly. I started analyzing experience distance with this person formally, but I did not have all these feelings. I was not having sleepless nights. I was not always trying to call her to make sure she calls me every time, or make sure she texts me every time, or every minute she's giving me her time. I was not having all those worries. But why now? I definitely knew that something was wrong. And in as much as she's not somebody who she's trying to like please or not complain, I knew that I was pressuring, and if I had not worked on myself, I would pressure on to the point of fracture. So I had to look up reasons why I'd be having this constant insecurity, constant worry, constant anxiety. I could not. If she doesn't tell me good night, I can't go to bed. That is very wrong.
Wow.
If she doesn't call me in a whole day, like just for one day, so many thoughts flood my mind, very wrong thoughts. And I asked myself, why can't you give her a benefit of doubt? You're in a relationship at least. But I can't. I can't eat. I cannot. I suddenly lose appetite. I cannot eat, I cannot sleep. I can stay awake the whole night just thinking, having conversations in my head. It keeps going on and on and on and on. And I knew it was wrong. I knew that I had to find help somehow. So I consulted the most popular help source, Google. And I understand that sometimes, and we should that there are things that are not diagnosable by ourselves. But I got to understand that anxiety is self-diagnosable. You would know when you have anxiety. You don't need a medical practitioner to tell you. So I did the research, and everything I was feeling was what was being explained. It was like they were telling me exactly what is in my head, but explaining it in a way better format. And when I got to understand that this is what I was going through, immediately there was calming effect. Was as if the ignorance of formerly I was ignorant of what was going on. Now the knowledge made it lessen the body. It made everything easier. So knowing that I was just anxious for nothing made it way. I started from that particular day. I started sleeping properly. So from then on, I started researching more on how to deal with relationship. As the first suggested I talk to my partner, but I told her about it. She totally understood that. Okay, so this is why you have been acting this way. Let's go through it together. And from there on, everything started coming up smoothly. And I started understanding that there is nothing wrong. It's just your mind telling you things that are not real. Possibly because you are at this period, the pressure of the whole pandemic. I'm just suggesting that might have been the cause, that you might not see her again, or probably might get somebody else, all those things. Yes.
Okay. So when you were talking, you kept mentioning something about thoughts, about the situation, wrong thoughts or thoughts that were not so good coming to you. So, if you don't mind me asking, can you what kind of thoughts were those? Was it that, oh, you thought, oh, what if she's cheating on me, or you thought, she's going to leave me, like she's been acting weird, so what kind of thoughts were running through your head?
Okay, so like most of the time the conversation is usually in my head. I could just sit down because I was mostly alone those periods. I could just sit down and my mind keeps telling me stuff like, so because she did not tell you good night, I love you this night, probably tomorrow morning she would wake up and tell you it's over, or maybe she's going to tell it to somebody else, or maybe somebody else is taking her attention. I could stay online just to make sure she goes offline when she tells me good night. It was that bad. It was as if I started trying to monitor her. I was so anxious that what if she leaves me? What if she likes somebody else? What if it's not me? What if she's deceiving me? What if this is just a cruise? Why wouldn't she tell me it's a cruise? This and that and this and that and this.
Wow.
And it was just a product of imagination, and none of it was true. Every day she reassures me. I wake up to morning text messages. If, for example, one day she might have been busy, or her phone might have been dead and she was unable to text me, I start to think it's something else. Instead of me to give her the benefit of doubt, I thought tell me, oh, suddenly she wants to stop texting you for life. She doesn't want you again.
Wow. Okay. This is very new. All right. What you just explained right now is actually pretty much normal. Like, a lot of people go through this and they be like, it's normal in a relationship for people to feel insecure. Yeah. So, I'm kind of wondering, because I've heard a lot of this, like a lot of people say things like, oh, I'm worried my partner might be cheating on me. I'm worried. So it sounds kind of basic, like it sounds not basic, so to say, but it sounds kind of normal. So I feel maybe at this point, or do you think at this point people actually have relationship anxieties, but they take it as the normal, like they take it that, oh, okay, this is normal. It's normal for me to just feel insecure like that. It's normal for me to micromanage my partner. Do you think people suffer from this and just take it as the normal?
Yes, the relationships like a breeding ground for anxious thoughts, and people are unaware of the fact that there's something called relationship anxiety. And when this comes into light, when people start to know that you can just be worrying for no reason, it helps them solve half of the problem. Most relationships that you would ask somebody, why did you break up? And they're like, I don't know. They can't really explain. Most of those relationships are a result of things that were just built up in the imagination. So we have taken insecurity to be very regular, and most of social media was one of the things that influenced the toxic things people post up. They make you believe that your partner must cheat. They make you believe that things like it will end the premium tiers, always men are always calm and women will always cheat. All these things subconsciously affect our mind, or unconsciously affect our mind, and it will make you start those thoughts will come up when you are lonely, when you're having alone time. They come up and you start to accept it for yourself even when it's not true. So the things we digest, the things we take in also multiplies that anxiety that's present.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. Social media plays a huge role too, because almost every time you go on social media, you see things like, oh, it will end in premium tiers. Like, it's like there's no happy ever after anywhere. So yeah, I think it adds to it. So I just want to add, did this happen in all your relationships, or okay, you just mentioned that anyway. I don't think there's any need for me to ask you this. You said it was just during the pandemic and you've not had that before.
Yes, I have not. I have this like of first experience, yes, of something like this.
Okay, so how did you manage it? Apart from you going online and researching about what might be wrong, how did you have therapy? Did you take some anxiety meds? What happened?
Okay, suggested medications, but we are not. Nobody should be allowed. Nobody is advised to take medications without prescription from a medical practitioner. So there are other lifestyle methods to treat anxiety, whether relationship anxiety or any kind of anxiety, without medication. So first of all, they advise that we avoid most of those negative things we see on social media, or we should avoid negative should I call it negative energy in general. Anything that would make your mind think bad thoughts, avoid them. First of all, exercising, because one of the symptoms of relationship anxiety is lethargy. You'll be unable to do anything productive for yourself. You just want to lie down all day and gloat about how terrible life is. But you'd have to take yourself out. Exercise also helps. Doing little things, achieving little things, you feel happy in yourself. You feel self-achieved and all that. So lifestyle changes is one of the methods. Proclaiming positive thoughts, that really helped me. If my mind tells me, if I am thinking and something tells me like, she's going to break your heart, I could tell myself, she is not going to break my heart. She loves me. I keep repeating it to myself until I start to believe that. And to be honest, in as much as it seems very sentimental a bit, it works. It does work.
Yeah, that's words of affirmation, right?
Yes, words of affirmation. So it really, really works. So I kept reminding myself that this is going to go through. And since then, it's been about 4 months, and now things are like way, way better, like 100 times better than it was some months ago. So it's something that people can actually come out from when you are aware of. First of all, the first way to solve your problem is by knowing that this is actually the problem, what I'm facing. You define it and you start dealing with it. So I was able to define that this is what I'm facing, and I started dealing with it properly, and everything is handsome right now. Very handsome.
Yeah. Wow. I'm really happy for you. I'm happy that you were able to deal with it. I'm happy that you're good now, because I don't know. I just can't imagine you going through something like that. I'm really happy you were able to deal with it. Congratulations.
The basic, most important thing is communication. Keep up communication with your partner. Tell them what you're going through. If they truly love you, or if they're truly into the relationship, they would want to help you.
That's true. That's very true. Openness, communication. I think there's nothing like communication. Communication beats everything, hands down, in relationship. Yeah, you need to be open with your partner and let them know what you're going through. And they can even reassure you of their love and of their commitment to the relationship. Well, Victor, thank you so much for honoring this invitation to talk about your experience. I'm really privileged that you could come onto this show and share with us your experience with relationship anxiety. So at this point, do you have any last words you might want to say to the listeners?
Okay, to the listeners, I'd like to give this particular word, my philosophy: hope for the best, but prepared for the worst, and every other thing in between should not surprise you. This word is from Maya Angelou in her book To Kill a Mockingbird. I just love the philosophy and I follow it.
Wow. Like wow is all I can say. It's a very strong philosophy to live by. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Victor. Again, like I'll have to keep saying thank you, because this is new insights you've brought to this show. You sharing your experience in this way. Thank you for I don't want to say being vulnerable, but yeah, you were vulnerable.
Thank you very
much for that. Thank you. A lot of friends.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pot of Beans podcast. Victor, can we reach you on social media in case we have questions? Is there anywhere we can reach you?
Handle on Instagram is the Ojugo Victor, TheOrjiugobictor, the Ojugo Victor, and on Twitter, orjugo.victor, orjiugo.bictor. Yeah. And on Facebook, Orjugo Prince Victor, if you want to.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys, you can hit Victor up if you have questions regarding relationship anxiety, or if you just want to chat. Are you open to chatting with people?
Yeah, sure. It's like you can share your experience and hear other people, so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So, guys, Victor is open. Just hit him up, and you can take it up from there. So, thank you so much, Victor. See, I've said thank you like 10 times now, but you have to forgive me.
Thank you too.
So, guys, thank you for listening. Don't forget, you can support this podcast by sharing with your friends. Let your friends gain these new insights as well. Share with your friends, and don't forget, you can also support this podcast by tipping me on Shukran. I'll leave my link in the description, and also on Patreon. And also, I've activated Anchor support, so you can support me there with as little as, whatever you have. It's called listener support. And I also run ads for businesses. So if you're interested, hit me up and let's talk. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Pot of Beans podcast. Victor, I think it's time to say goodbye now. So, bye.
Would you still love me? What if my body ached and I always made you late? What if I couldn't wait? Would you still love me? Would you love me when it's hard and our lives falling apart? If the things that we once knew are long gone, if our blue skies turn to gray and my memory fades away, would you still love me? Would you still love me? What if I'm complicated, always leaving you frustrated?
Okay, this is such a very, very lovely podcast session. I mean, I enjoyed it all through the way. Well done, Afro Bandy. Well done, Mr. Victor. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for enlightening us on this whole relationship anxiety. I mean, who knew about this? And thank you for sharing your story. I mean, it's quite very rare, I think, or very unusual to see a man who openly shares his vulnerability like this. I mean, I can only imagine how your girlfriend would be like, "Oh, Victor, listening to this right now." So this is really awesome. Well done, well done. Such a lovely session.
Hi Chiwendu, I just listened to the latest episode of your podcast on relationship anxiety and I could relate so much to it. I've experienced it, and one of the things that actually led to it, me feeling that way, is, what I was seeing on social media. When you go there, a lot of bad relationship stories. So I wanted to, at the point I started thinking, what if my partner is doing this? What if my partner is doing that? Not knowing that, from looking at it from hindsight now, I know better, and the fact that bad things circulate more in the media. So there are obviously good relationships out there that I could emulate, inspire me. So yeah, I trashed it out with my partner, and that is it. So I could definitely relate to relationship anxiety. It is super real. That was a nice episode. Do take care of yourself. I enjoy your podcast, especially your trailer. Take care. Bye.
Hi, Wendy. This is Didi from Ben Talks with Didi podcast. Okay, I just listened to this particular episode on relationship anxiety. Man, it's a really nice episode, and it's really cool that you brought someone that had this experience about relationship anxiety, being worried and feeling insecure in your relationship simply because your partner might not be in the mood or might not be free to text or chat with you, or rather call you. So it's a nice episode. I enjoyed it. Keep it up. It's still Didi from Betox with Didi podcast. Yes, the part where he said social media and everything. Seriously, social media will put you under unnecessary pressure because you think, this relationship, anyhow where you be now, game where go court. That's the new slang now. Game where go court. It will end in premium tears because everybody has that mentality that if it's a relationship, the guy would cheat, and ladies are never faithful, especially if the guy is not buoyant enough because she needs to buy stuff, and if the guy is not providing the money and all that, she'll look elsewhere. I mean, that is what we feed ourselves with every day we enter social media. It's too much. So I think if you really want your relationship to work, I think you should put in more work and don't really look out for all those stuff. Like, you're always feeling insecure and you're looking for signs that will give you that that will make you say like a confirmation that this person is cheating or this person is doing something bad or something.
Great job, Afro Wendy. And the guest today was like during this session was really, really, really amazing, and I just really like the fact that he was open and all. And I could relate on some level because I was like, sometimes I'm like, okay, does this person really mean what the person says? Does the person really like me? Does the person really do this, do that, and all? And I think over time I've decided, like, I'll just say, okay, I'll just trust in your words. I'll just trust that your word is your bond and all. Until you give me a reason to not trust you anymore, I think I'll just keep trusting the fact that you mean every word you say. And yeah, that's basically it. So I really enjoyed it, and well done.